First, let me be clear. I don't have a problem with the traditional Latin Mass being said, but I do have a problem with the mad trads, the loud, toxic minority who twist every Pope Francis headline into some tale of persecution and sorrow. Most traditional Catholics, they're good people, but they're being misled. They're kind, they're devout, they're faithful. But like everything else, a few bad apples who constantly whine with their hatred seem to be the loudest that take over and dominate Catholic media. And the sad part is they make it worse for everyone else. So let's just cut to the headline that lit up Catholic X. Did Pope Francis lie? No. And I'll prove it. I'm Christine Harrington, and this is Eternal Life Plan. As I read through Diane Montagna's article, I had to sit and ponder it and reread it because something just didn't sit right with me about the timing of this all coming out. One question just kept circling in my mind. Why now? Why is this report just now surfacing well after the fact? We'll come back to that because I have the answer, and that's the real scandal. But first, I want to show you why this is not a scandal. Pope Francis did not lie. And once again, the mad trads are crying wolf. Buried deep in Diane's own article, I found this. Summarum Pontificum played a significant, albeit relatively modest role in the life of the church. Let me say that again. Summarum Pontificum played a significant, albeit relatively modest role in the life of the church. By 2021, it had only reached 20% of Latin dioceses worldwide. And I have the sources to back all of this up I'm going to share with you. Implementation was described as more serene and peaceful, though not everywhere. That tells us something, doesn't it? Even with Pope Benedict's generous permission, the traditional Latin Mass never became widespread. I did my own research, and here's what I found. Only 1 to 2% of U.S. Catholics attend the TLM regularly. Let me say that again. Only 1 to 2% U.S. Catholics attend the TLM regularly. That's up slightly from under 1% in the early 2000s. And that's even after Pope Benedict released the restrictions in 2007. What happened post-2021? There was a minor decline in availability, but interest stayed steady among certain young Catholics in select dioceses. Now compare that to the Novus Ordo. 98 to 99% of parishes offer only the Novus Ordo Mass. Over 95% of Mass-going Catholics attend the Novus Ordo. And general weekly attendance? Well, in 2000, it was only 25% of Catholics. In 2023, between 17 and 21%, depending on the survey. The survey is from Pew Research and CARA, C-A-R-A. You see, that's not a TLM crisis. That's a Catholic engagement crisis. As of 2023, there were around 700 TLM locations in the US. Now compare that to over 16,000 Catholic parishes. That's about 4% offering the TLM Mass regularly. So why not offer it more? Because even with Pope Benedict's freedom to go to that Mass and the promotion of it, demand never matched the narrative. And there's two things that I find that could be the problem of why TLM never really grew. One is, since the Novus Ordo Mass was rolled out back in the 1970s, all of those priests that knew how to say the Latin Mass are either dead or they're retired. The seminaries didn't teach the Latin Mass. So all the priests that came up through the ranks since 1970 were only taught how to celebrate the Novus Ordo Mass. That could be a reason why it never grew. But nevertheless, there didn't seem to be a demand to increase TLM masses throughout the United States. So what's really going on? And this is what I think the scandal really is. Diane Montagna was handed this report. As David L. Gray said in his video, this wasn't leaked, and I felt the very same way. It was given to Diane to apply pressure, to stir outrage, to manipulate Catholic public opinion, not to inform, but to influence. This wasn't about transparency. This was about turning up the heat on Pope Leo XIV. Diane knew what this would do. She knew the toxic mad trads would light the match, and they did. And once again, they're crying persecution at the top of their lungs. But let's not miss this important fact. This is a pressure campaign, not against Pope Francis because he's dead, but against Pope Leo. That's their real intent, to force his hand, to lift the restrictions, to turn the church back to division in the name of tradition. Let's get something straight. Pope Francis did not lie. He acted with discretion and pastoral care for the entire Catholic Church in order to try to bring the church together in unity. But a lie is being told. A narrative is being twisted to weaponize tradition as a political tool. This isn't about reverence. It is not about liturgical beauty. It's about control. It's about power. And the faithful are being used as pawns in the middle of this. You know who the mad trads are that are putting out this propaganda hit piece. They're the usual suspects. I'm Christine Harrington, and this is Eternal Life Plan. If you're ready to stand for truth, if you're tired of being spun by social media drama, if you love the Mass, both forms. I love both forms, and I love the church, and I know you do too. Look for the propaganda. And this is one more example of mad trad propaganda. Keep this in mind. You would think if you went on social media, 90% of Catholics are traditional Latin Mass Catholics. They are not. It's 1 to 2% of the entire Catholic community in the United States that are traditional Latin Mass goers. That's it. It's a fraction of all the Catholics that go to the Novus Ordo Mass. The mad trads are misleading Catholics. Please subscribe and share this video because this battle isn't just about liturgy. It's about the soul of the church, and my channel is Eternal Life Plan. Got a plan? Fight for the soul of the church. God bless you all.